The galaxy had always seen Earth as small and weak. The great empires laughed at humans. To them, Earth was just a blue world, fragile and young, standing in the shadows of older, stronger civilizations. When war finally came, the galaxy expected one thing: Earth's defeat. The Karth Dominion, a ruthless empire of steel and fire, sent its armadas to crush humanity. Their fleets numbered in the thousands, their weapons forged to end entire species. And so the galaxy waited. They watched their screens, their sensors, their reports. They waited for the cries of Earth's surrender. They waited for the Terrans to beg for mercy. But Earth did not surrender. The war began, and something unexpected stirred in the dark. The Karth fleets arrived in Sol's system with banners of conquest. Their generals believed Earth would kneel within days. Instead, they met resistance. Terran ships, smaller and fewer, fought with fury. Every battle cost the Karth dearly. Where one human ship fell, 2 Karth destroyers burned. Where one city was bombed, Earth struck back with fire and steel. The galaxy was confused. Why do they resist? The alien diplomats whispered. Why do they fight when they should already be broken? Yet Earth fought on. The skies over Mars burned red with wreckage. The orbit of Jupiter became a graveyard of shattered ships. Humanity had no choice but to resist, because for them, defeat was death. Still, the numbers were against them. Slowly, painfully, Earth seemed to weaken. To the outside galaxy, it looked as if the inevitable end was near. Other empires circled like predators. The Council of Races, safe in their jeweled halls, prepared their speeches. Some would mourn Earth, others would condemn them as fools, but all believed the same: Terrans could not win. Merchants planned how to divide Earth's resources once the Dominion conquered them. Smaller empires whispered about slavery, about taking Terran survivors as laborers. They all waited for Earth to fall, waited for the Terran spirit to break, waited for the last human ship to burn. But in the shadows of space, in places unseen, something else waited too. Not merchants, not scavengers, a fleet. On Earth, the leaders knew the truth. The Dominion was too large. Humanity's open fleets could not fight forever. Even with courage, even with fire, their strength would eventually be consumed. So they turned to a secret. For decades, humanity had been building in silence. Deep under oceans, hidden beneath, ice buried within the voids of asteroids, shipyards had worked without pause. Not grand battleships for show, but something different. Something quiet, something patient, something made for survival. They called it Project Shadow. Men and women, engineers and dreamers had poured their lives into it. The outside galaxy knew nothing. Even most humans knew nothing. But as Earth bled, the project neared completion. The commanders whispered among themselves, "We cannot reveal them yet. Not until the time is right. Not until the galaxy believes we are broken." The Dominion struck Earth directly. Cities turned to glass. Oceans boiled under orbital fire. Billions of Terrans screamed in loss. Even then, Earth refused to kneel. A single Terran fleet, bloodied and burning, met the Dominion, above the moon. It was a hopeless battle, every soldier knew it. But they fought anyway to buy time. The galaxy leaned forward in silence. "This is it," they said. "This is the end." The Terran fleet shattered. Only fragments remained, drifting in silence. The Dominion's banners rose high. To every observer, Earth was finished. But the human leaders, though grieving, stood firm. The final key had turned. The last order was given. The shadows moved. At first, it was whispers on sensors, blurs of movement near asteroid belts, echoes beneath Saturn's rings, unknown signals from Neptune's orbit. Then they appeared. The Shadow Fleet. Hundreds, no thousands of ships, sleek and black, sliding out of hidden docks. Their hulls absorbed light, their engines burned cold and silent. They were invisible, until they chose to strike. The galaxy gasped. No one had expected this. No one had imagined that humanity, the fragile species of Earth, had hidden such power. The Shadow Fleet fell upon the Dominion like wolves from the dark. Karth ships, once so arrogant, vanished in explosions of light. Cruisers that thought themselves hunters became prey. The Dominion's armadas broke under the sudden storm, and still the fleet came, wave after wave of human shadows, rising from every hidden place the galaxy had never thought to look. The Dominion panicked. Their admirals screamed in confusion. Where did they come from? How long have they been building this? But it was too late for answers. The Shadow Fleet cut through them with precision. Battles that should have lasted days ended in hours. Human ships struck from nowhere, vanished, then struck again. The galaxy trembled. No empire had ever seen such tactics. No race had ever hidden so much strength. To the watching worlds, it was as if humanity had been holding its breath in the dark for centuries, waiting for this moment. The vultures who had circled Earth grew silent. Those who planned to take spoils now prayed the Terrans would not turn their fleet upon them next. The Dominion, once the terror of the galaxy, now tasted fear. The war shifted. The Dominion's invasion fleets, once countless, were shattered. Their supply lines burned. Their generals fled. For every world they had scarred, the Shadow Fleet carved vengeance into their bones. On Earth, survivors raised their eyes to the sky, whispering hope. They saw the black ships rising from the void, fighting for them, protecting them. For the first time, victory no longer seemed like a dream. The galaxy watched in awe. Humanity was never weak, they realized. They were patient, they were building. They were waiting for us to underestimate them. The war was no longer about survival. It was about destiny. At last, the Dominion's high fleet was cornered near the burning remnants of its own stronghold. Human ships surrounded them in silence, weapons ready. A single message was broadcast, not just to the Dominion, but to every listening world across the galaxy. You waited for our defeat. You waited for our surrender. But we were waiting too, waiting in the shadows, waiting for the moment when the galaxy would see us not as victims, not as prey, but as what we truly are. We are humanity, and we will never kneel. The final battle ended swiftly. The Dominion, once mighty, was gone, and across the stars the galaxy trembled, not at Earth's weakness, but at Earth's strength. For in the darkest hour, humanity had revealed its hidden truth. They had waited for Earth's defeat, but the Shadow Fleet had emerged,